to reach out and that's.
Well, no, then it's gonna come with all the.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? I'm all right. Good, good. Good morning. Nice to meet you. Good morning. Good morning.
What's yours? Damoni?
There's black tape on both sides. Just make sure on this side of the black tape.
Oh, okay.
It'll be on the camera.
I was like,
There's a piece of black tape over there. Just stay on this side. You're fine. You're good.
Pollution has been a major destruction in our environment and wildlife. We see trash everywhere, animals choking on plastic, and trash all over our highways.
Good morning, my name is Vienna. I am the CEO and the co-COO.
I'm Alani and I'm the CFO.
I'm Maylee, I'm the COO and CFO.
And I'm Rosa, and I'm the CMO, and we are for Earth. So the problem we are trying to solve is that we notice that there's a lot of pollution in our environment. As you guys may know, whenever you guys go to parks, rivers, lakes, outdoors, downtown, there's always trash everywhere. So we're trying to find a solution.
So our solution is to create excess beauty. So you might be wondering, what is excess beauty? Well, excess beauty is a fancy term that we use for our trash art. We wanted to name it excess beauty because we didn't like that trash art name. So we just decided to look up definitions and like synonyms of trash and beauty. And so we came up with that name.
We'd also like to host cleanups for our community so they can come and help us out.
For our vision is to see a cleaner environment and with our excess beauty that we make to sell nationally.
For our mission, we want to pick up trash and help the earth and also create our excess beauty at the same time.
So our target audience will mainly be our community, since we are trying to gather up the community to come help us with our events. Also, when we start selling our art, our target audience will be people who usually buy art or interested in art, attend art hubs, and also gallery walks.
For our value, what we value is our customers as well as our planet being a clean environment for everyone.
So for our competition, these are some of our competitors. We actually met the first competitor. His name is Rubit, and he also sells art created from trash. And he can actually be a potential collaborator because he gave us some tips, and he said that if we promote his art, he would promote our art as well.
Our unique value is to help the environment, make the environment more clean, and when people go outside, make the environment not as cleaner than it is right now. Also, give people the volunteer hours and gather up the community for a good cause.
For our minimum value product, the first thing we needed to see was if we could collect enough trash, and from how much we collected, if we were able to, excuse me for a minute, if we were able to actually make an art piece out of it, and we're still currently experimenting with what we can use and what we cannot, and we're also seeing if people will take an interest in our art.
So social media, we're gonna be using social media to talk or have communication with our community. We're gonna be asking in our stories questions like, where do you want our next event to be at? Or what kind of art would you like to see? And then the community could help us, and then we're gonna be posting like where our next event's gonna be at and what's the process with our art.
So we have our TAM and our SAM. Our TAM is our total addressable market, and our SAM is our serviceable addressable market. So for our TAM, there are currently 23,700 art businesses in the United States, and assuming that each of them have at least one buyer, and the buyer sells a product from them that's at least $25, the market has $592,500. So the SAM, we have about 2,640 potential buyers that go to art hop, and we got that number because I looked at the average amount of people that go to art hops, and I multiplied that by 24 because there are 24 art hops throughout the year. And our revenue for SAM would be $300. So this is our financial model, and this is our 6 month projected revenue, which is the top, which is $150 if we were to sell one unit, which is $25 of our art piece. And our 1 year projected revenue is $300 if we were, again, to sell the $25 art piece. So the reason why we chose our art piece to be $25 is because we took in the time that we had to make it, which is around 6 to 8 hours. And we also looked at the canvas price, which was $10, and we decided to come up with $25 as our final price. So the market size. We actually went out to Coutinho Art Hops and River Park Art Hops, and we figured out that the average amount of people that show up is anywhere from 20 to 200 people, and the actual average, the median, is 110 people. So our market test. We will be using crowdfunding as a tactic and surveys, and this is one of our popular survey questions, which is, would it be interesting for you to see art and decorative items from the trash that you often see on the ground? And 65% of respondents said yes, that they would. So we actually have a GoFundMe set up, and currently we have $225 for our business, and we will be using this money for trash pickers, art supplies, canvases, to make sure that obviously our business has the money to run and to have all the supplies needed.
So for our process, what we do first is we pick up the trash, which is, these are some pictures from us cleaning up Millerton Lake recently. And then we go to our CEO's house and clean it. And then after that, we sort what we're going to use and what we're not going to use. And then we lay that out, as this picture shows. And then we paint that, and then we come up with this. There's also
And so at the Millerton Lake, we actually saw a lot of interesting things like bottles and lots of weird things like tent covers and all that. It got really weird, but it was fun, and we got to experiment with what we can and can't work with. And so we decided to come up with this art piece, which was simplistic, but it kind of works because it's got the normal colors that you typically see in a house. Thank you.
I had a question about your, I don't know about your SAM calculation, didn't seem right. Just seemed like there was an error there, that there's a lot more revenue available to you guys based on your SAM number, not based on what you actually anticipate doing for your sales, but I think your potential market's much bigger, you just didn't calculate it right, if I understood you correctly. There's something else I was wondering about. It escapes me, sorry, I'll go back to something else.
I've got. By the way, you guys have a laudable goal and mission, so congratulate you for that and wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
I think I heard you say it takes 6 to 8 hours to produce that, but you're charging 25. So assuming even minimum wage, how does that factor into a profitable, ongoing enterprise unless you want to operate in a nonprofit? Is this meant to be a for-profit?
We've actually been debating that for a while, whether we want our business to be for-profit or nonprofit. So we kind of really don't have an answer for that currently, but we have been thinking about switching it.
Even if you're a nonprofit though, doesn't mean you don't pay yourself. It just means you only can have so much in profits.
Right.
So you have to always consider, I mean, if it's a hobby you don't make money. So in business, whether it's a profit or non-profit, you need to consider paying yourself something. So something to keep in mind. So it's an incredible idea.
Does that time also include the collection of the trash or just the making the art?
Making the art.
And it sounds like you're wanting to use volunteers for the pickup, which is great too. And one thought to consider is partnering with groups that try to generate volunteers or bring volunteers together, like Hands On Central California, and some ones like that that would actually get you the people, because you need to have a supply of people fairly consistently to feed that production, and essentially, depending on volunteers, to feed your production, your raw material, if you will. Very raw, it sounds like. So just a suggestion about that too.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I have a question. So please explain just a little bit further. You stated that you would be having an event It said something about an event, where you're holding an event. For your art, or in your presentation, you had said, we'll let you know where next event's gonna be held, or,
What's, you want to say?
Okay, so what we're thinking of doing is that we want to like go out like on the outdoors and check where's like a place where there's like more trash, and then we want to post it on social media if people want to come and help us pick up trash and do events like in different places.
okay, so
Yeah.
it wasn't pertaining to selling your art, it was just like going and picking up the trash?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's okay, thank you.
Do you have more examples beyond this?
No, that one's our first one.
Okay. So just a couple of thoughts and ideas. I really like your logo, and I was noticing that on your, I think it was Instagram or one of them, the F and the O were capitalized and then it wasn't. So I don't know if that's because on purpose.
We sort of had a logo change
Okay.
Yeah.
within making the Instagram and putting the logo back up.
Okay. Okay. And then you talked about like the trash art, and Trashique is another kind of one of those art type of things that uses trash. You might want to put on your website, like if people have trash, or maybe they're cleaning out a house that is being renovated and they can give you old light bulbs and stuff. Maybe you guys have a drop-off location. Other people to potentially connect with, like Cliff was saying, Hands On Central California, United Way, or even the city of Fresno. You know, they may have, you know, already trash that you guys could utilize. Yeah, that your question on the $25, I was wondering if you had other pieces, because you mentioned an art hop and maybe partnering with that artist. So I wanted to see what other things you guys had available. And then because your logo is pretty cool and there's a lot of people that want to maybe give back, maybe have a volunteer here link, and then provide a certificate for volunteers. A lot of high school, specifically high school students, would look for something like that so that they can put that on their resume. So that might be another expense if you're talking about like cardstock or something, but just a thought.
Thank you.
And the big thing is the labor for everything you're doing, and just
Yeah,
$15 times 6, you're already, I mean,
way underpaid.
yeah, but you're already operating a huge loss. So address that.
Yeah, I definitely think that like art is subjective, right? Not objective. This is worth $25. So you guys should appropriately price it to where you can pay yourselves, especially if you're only selling 1 unit a month. That 1 unit has to go way higher in terms of what it's worth. And a lot of people that see that your mission and they see what you guys are standing for and wanting to do, they will want to help support you. And if they get a cool art piece along the way, that's awesome too.
Yeah, so I agree with that. I think the important part when you're selling the art is for them to know what your mission is. I like your slogan, by the way, that was well thought out. But if they know what your mission is, then it gives the art more meaning. I actually like that to an artist. Right? I'm an engineer, so don't listen to me. But I like that. I mean, you know, I'd hang that in my house, and knowing that what the cause is, you know, that it's helping. The problem is that for recyclers right now, there's no money in recycling. They have to, by law, they have to recycle the waste companies. And it's not good right now because they're not making any money on recycling, which doesn't make them really happy, right? But if you can motivate other people to collect trash and make the art, then that's a great motivator for people to help. I would think, you know, like I said, advertise, making sure that people know that this art is made from waste, and like that idea. And in that note too, if you're a nonprofit, when people buy the art, if you phrase it as a donation, then it's a tax write-off. So not only do they get art, but they get a tax write-off. So another good reason to become a nonprofit would be for them to be able to donate to you. It doesn't mean you don't make money. You still can pay yourselves. It just becomes a donation then. Something to keep in mind.
Do you mind if I take a look at that real quick?
Yes.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna touch it, I just want to look at it.
And it's made out of what?
Plastic, paper.
Yeah, like the plastic that we saw.
The plastic bottles?
Yeah, I believe.
Is the white pieces? Like, I
So
want
how
to
did
know
you
what
curl
everything
it?
is.
Honestly, we just got paper, we just filled it.
Oh, that's paper.
Yes.
Okay, but the green is the bottom of the water bottles here.
Straws, there's some straws in there, there's some bottles. We try to hide it the best we can in the
Oh, you're fine.
boxes.
That's art.
Are one of you the artist, or is it a collaborative effort?
Collaborative.
That's really good collaborative art.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
usually,
That's,
usually art by committee doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Everybody has their own ideas.
how about if I bring some materials and see how collaborative we can be?
That's very good.
Anyone else want to look at it more?
Well, and also, if you guys make more art, once again, we're, Pie Shop is an art hub stop. And be glad, we have an inside space, you can set up a pop-up and try to, try to sell it, but I
You'd
would.
sell out. You'd sell out
I would
every
think
art.
so, and really tell the people, so they understand what they're buying is not just the art, is if there's a cause behind it, makes a difference. But
And-
there's
yeah.
a story behind it,
That's a good point. I've been to many competitions in New York, and it's the social context of it. What is your social cause? People really draw to that.
Wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.